business of the House should resume shortly as soon as a quorum has been constituted. Right now the bells are ringing for members of Parliament to come back in the House after the tea break for business to continue. It is a requirement that 1/3 of the total number of members of Parliament has to be present in order for business to transact on the floor of the House. And just before the break, we had the Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security, who was responding to a question that has been posed by Mr. Francis Kapyanga, Mpika Central Member of Parliament. And Mr. Kapyanga wanted to know whether government has plans to construct a police station in Mpika district. So as soon as business resumes, we expect the minister to continue responding to this question that is under consideration on the floor of the House. And we have a question expected to come from Chilubi Member of Parliament, Mr. Mulenga Fube, and his question is directed to the Minister of Mines and Minerals Development, and the question is coming in 3 parts. Part A, he wants to know whether the government has any plans to publish a minerals book after the completion of the geophysical survey, and Part B, if so, when the book will be published, and Part C, if there are no such plans, why?
We also expect the House to consider the Disaster Management Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 1 of 2026, which is coming at committee stage.
So that is business expected to be considered on the floor of the House as soon as the House resumes sitting. And currently the bells are ringing because there's no quorum yet in the House for business to continue. And remember that today is the last day of the sitting of this meeting. This has been the legislative meeting of the House, and after the meeting for today, the House is expected to adjourn sine die until a date to be announced when they come for the last meeting. Yes, so watching Parliament television, and a quorum has not yet been constituted. We cross back to the floor of the House.
Order, honorable members. When business was suspended, the House was considering question number 272 on the order paper, asked by the honorable member from Mpika, and the honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security was responding to the question. May the honorable Minister continue.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. At the time of adjournment for tea break, I was responding to the Honourable Member of Parliament from Mpika, Francis Kapyanga. And I was saying that the issues he raised were, A, whether the government has any plans to construct Mpika main police station in Mpika district. B, if so, when the plans will be implemented. C, what the estimated cost of the project is. And D, if there are no such plans, why? Madam Speaker, in responding to the questions asked by the Honourable Member, I wish to inform the House as follows. A, government has plans to construct a modern police station in Mpika district in order to enhance policing services, improve public safety, and strengthen law enforcement capacity in the area. In preparation for the project, the Mpika Municipal Council has allocated 2 hectares of land to the Zambia Police Service for the construction of the facility. B, the project will be implemented once the necessary funding is secured. Government remains committed to undertaking the project as part of its effort to improve infrastructure for the Zambia Police Service and to respond to the growing demand for effective policing services in Pika District. C, the estimated cost of constructing the modern police station is 34 million kwacha. The cost covers construction works, installation of essential utilities, and provision of requisite facilities to meet modern policing standards. D, the government has plans to construct in Pika police station in Pika. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. Supplementary questions, Honorable Member from Pika.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And thank you so much, Honorable Minister, for that response. And indeed, the land for the construction of a main police station was secured, I think somewhere in 2018 or 19, if I'm not mistaken. And following that, just near that land, police houses were constructed. Madam Speaker, this currently, the Zambia Police Service in Mpika is being housed by a very small house within the compound, which is not very ideal for their operations. Honorable Minister, what has delayed the implementation of that plan which the government has from 2018 to date? Because really, I'm sure during this period, the government could have secured the necessary fund for the construction of the police station, having secured the land on which to construct it. Madam Speaker, thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Member, you may not take note that this country, from the time the PF assumed office to the time when we managed to secure debt restructuring, the country was severely financially constrained. We could not do any major projects as a result of financial constraints. We have now managed to have the debt restructured. We have started implementing a number of projects in various areas, and I have no doubt, Madam Speaker, that Pika will be one of those projects which will be undertaking soon.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Kwacha.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, do you have collaborative efforts to put up housing units, not only in Mpika, but countrywide, following...
Honorable members, this is a constituency-based question. The Honorable Member for Kwacha wants to ask a question. I suggest you put in a question. In the process, we are delaying. We are not moving because we are bringing in questions which are not on the order paper. May the Honorable Member for Kwacha ask a question relating to Mpika as contained in question number 272, please.
Most guided, Honorable Speaker. I just wanted to find out if at all there are collaborative efforts in Mpika to put up housing units following that program to put up a police station. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member, for that question. As you noted, the Honorable Member of Parliament for Mpika has already confirmed that police houses were built in Mpika. All what is remaining is for government to put up a police station.
Thank you. Honorable Member for Shangombo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I would like to find out from the Minister, and maybe if he can clear the air, because me and him were here last term. The PF were boasting of having put up a state-of-the-art police station in Mpika. We saw pictures of an upstairs building in the social media. And also, even on the floor of the House, the former Minister of Home Affairs confirmed that there's a state-of-the-art police station in Mpika. Can you confirm that those were just stories? Or there's something which is there, maybe which just needs finishing? Because even the current MP was boasting of the PF having done a lot in his constituency. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Madam Speaker, I want to confirm that those were political stories. The Member of Parliament has requested government to ensure and assure the people of Mpika that a new police station is put up, because there is no such facility currently obtaining in Mpika.
Thank you. The next question, the Honorable Member for, Honorable Member for Mpika.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, I've never boasted that the previous government constructed a police post station in Mpika. It's in Chinsari, which is the provincial headquarters, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, you've mentioned the hindrance to the construction of a police station in Mpika. We have a problem in Mpika currently, Madam Speaker, because of the gold mining. The crime rate keeps on going up due to the influx of different people to Mpika. And I wanted to find out what measures the government could put in place in the meantime, as we are waiting for a full-fledged police station, to ensure that the officers, the number of officers is increased to respond to the current needs of more officers on the ground to respond to the rising crime rate in the area. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I just want to assure our good people of Mpika that Mpika is a special zone for us. For those who may not be aware, we have what we call Tazara Police Command, which supplements the police stations in Mpika. And we have been sending officers to police those areas that are in need. I'm also aware, Madam Speaker, that we have made an announcement in the commitment that a big mine will be opening in Mpika very, very soon under the able leadership of His Excellency President Hakainde, to take care of the needs of the mine that will be put up and the needs of the area. A new modern police station will be built in Mpika. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Member for Chama South will be the last one.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, let me take this opportunity to thank the Minister of Home Affairs, Honorable Jack Mwimbo, and the New Dawn government for the professionalism that you've promoted among the men and women in uniform in the police. It's unprecedented, Madam Speaker, when we move. When we move, Madam Speaker, you find the police taking up their rightful place, unlike what was being witnessed. Honorable Minister, continue with that. My question is, we are seeing in Kanyama, where the Minister of Education was commissioning a big double-story block of classroom. And this is replicated in many other areas. I want to find out, Honorable Minister, are you encouraging members to consider utilizing CDF? If CDF can build such a big infrastructure, I'm sure it cannot fail to build a police post or police station in Mpika. Are you encouraging members to explore those options? I submit, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I also want to thank my honorable colleague for the compliments that have been made pertaining to the operations of the Zambia Police Service. Madam Speaker, I want to state that we have a number of MPs and constituencies in various areas wherein they have constructed not police posts, but police stations using CDF. I would encourage members of Parliament to utilize CDF to build police stations in areas like in Pika.
Thank you very much. Next question, the Honorable Member for Chadiza.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. It's question 273.
The Honorable Minister of Health.
Madam Speaker, thank you. And Honorable Member for Chadiza, thank you very much. Madam Speaker, Honorable Jonathan Daka to ask the Minister of Health, in 4 parts A, whether the government has any plans to construct a level 1 hospital in Chanida, border post in Chadiza district, following the increase in population in the area. B, when the plans will be implemented. C, what the estimated cost of the project is. And D, if there are no such plans, why? Madam Speaker, in Part A, the government has no immediate plans to construct a level 1 hospital at Chanida border post in Chadiza district. In B, Madam Speaker, given that the government has no immediate plans, as in question B, as in question A, B, and C fall off. Madam Speaker, if there are no such plans, why? Madam Speaker, the Ministry has no plans to construct a level 1 hospital in the area because Chanida border post is sparsely populated with population of approximately 8,554, according to the 2026 Zambia statistics, which is way below the threshold required for a level 1 hospital. Chanida adequately is serviced by 2 health facilities that are located about 5 kilometers apart. That is Chanida Health Post and at the border, and that has a catchment population of 3,997. And also the Chanida Rural Health Center, whose catchment population is 4,557. The government is aware of the increased traffic owing to the commercial activities through the port of Beira. As such, it is better suited for an isolation center as opposed to a level 1 hospital because its primary role is disease surveillance and outbreak containment, not routine health care delivery. A hospital would be costly, underutilized because of the population, as I stated, and logistically difficult, while an isolation center directly addresses the public health risks of cross-border movements. As such, Madam Speaker, the plan for Chanida border post is to construct an isolation center. Madam Speaker, thank you, and ready for follow-up questions.
Thank you. Supplementary questions, the Honorable Member for Chadiza.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Minister, thank you very much for that response. But before I can ask my first question, let me also take this opportunity to congratulate you on your appointment as the Honorable Minister. And let me also take an opportunity to congratulate our other colleague from Mfue constituency for having also been appointed as the Minister of Small Scale and Medium Ministry. Minister, we understand your response, but however, what you should understand that in planning to have a specific or a certain facility, we have to look at the trends of what is happening in Chanida. One, if you are not aware, the government will soon be constructing a one-stop border post at Chanida. And this facility is coming with the other facilities that may attract the influx of people from other areas. Therefore, it was in our view that regardless of the current population, which stands at 8,500, that government should be able to foresee what will soon be happening at Chanida by looking at the current trends. Further, Honorable Minister, if you are not aware, the Katete-Chanida Road is also under rehabilitation. Therefore, with improved communication or connectivity to the border, we also expect another influx of people going to Chanida. So my first question, Madam Speaker, to the Minister is to find out on the threshold, what is the threshold required for Chanida to qualify to be given a level 1 hospital? Madam Speaker, I submit.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Health.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honourable Member, for that follow-up question. Indeed, your concern regarding the development that should be coming up in that area for the one-stop border and the expansion. Madam Speaker, it needs to be noted that for any level 1 hospital to be constructed, according to the international best practices that have been agreed upon by many nations, is that you must have a population that is over 40,000 for a level 1 hospital to be constructed. 40,000, that is the threshold. Notwithstanding that, Madam Speaker, other reasons that make it not possible to have first-level hospital at Chanida border, Madam Speaker, first and foremost is that the border crossing from Zambia to Chanida, connecting to Mozambique. On the Mozambican side, the post of Kasakatiza is a very remote and secondary gateway between the two nations, Zambia and Mozambique. This is not a major pathway or a tourist route. It is a quite rural checkpoint on a rough and paved road that just serves for the local people to traverse. And as such, Madam Speaker, this crossing is primarily just used by the local people and a very small amount of commercial traffic for that matter. So it would not be prudent for now that the population is expected to increase and go beyond the threshold of 40,000 for for a first-level hospital to be constructed there. Madam Speaker, other factors I may state depending on how the next question comes. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Chama South.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, through you, I will not tire to commend this government, Honorable Minister, for the first time in our rural communities, and I want the people to understand this. I've been an MP, Madam Speaker. Our communities were lacking simple, essential drugs such as Panadol, malaria treatment drugs like Coartem, and many other drugs. But now, I was calling almost all health posts in Chama South. They have enough drugs. Honorable Minister and the people of Zambia, this is how we know that this is a serious government. And I want to commend you, Honorable Minister. Coming to the question, knowing Chanida, this government is working on the Katete-Chanida road. It's being tarred. Are you considering, I know, methodically, the president has been opening one-stop border posts. Yesterday he was in Nakonde. I know this area is likely also to receive such infrastructure. Are you, in the long-term plans, considering introducing a health facility befitting a one-stop border post, which is likely to be constructed in the near future. Madam Speaker, I submit.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Health.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and Honorable, thank you for those accolades to the government. And indeed, there's more work to do in terms of medicines and medical supplies to be distributed and made available to the people of Zambia across all the 10 provinces. Thank you for that. Madam Speaker, as stated, indeed in the long run, depending on the population growth in Chanida, because we do understand that when there is good road network, as he has stated that when we have a third road there, definitely we expect economic factors, or there should be economic growth, and that comes with an increase in terms of the population. Should we have a population reaching the required threshold, definitely there should be considerations for a hospital. Notwithstanding that, Madam Speaker, it is also possible that in the consignment that we are supposed to have, or procurement of about 115 mini hospitals, which is almost at tender stage, we can look at the prevailing conditions at Chanida border post, and we, in the interim, can think of allocating one mini hospital in that area. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. The last question, Honorable Member for Chadiza.
Thank you very much once more, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, in case you are not aware, Chadiza district as a whole, we have got more than 111,000 population. Therefore, when we are talking about Chanida, first of all, we are not just basically talking about those people at the border. If you look at the surrounding areas or the catchment for Chanida, we have more than 40,000 people there. Besides the trackers. Minister, moreover, if you are not aware, furthermore, is that Chanida is the busiest border post that we have. Maybe I would say the whole Eastern Province, because of the commercial activities which are happening across that border. Currently, government is using Chanida border post to import petroleum products through the port of Beira. So from your submission that there is low traffic and basically it's just used for accessibility, I think that submission is misplaced, because Chanida border post is one of the busiest, in fact, the busiest border post in Eastern Province. This takes me to the second question, that, Minister, in any good governance system, planning is of essence. What we are trying to present to you are things which will be coming in the foreseeable future, based on the current trends of development which are happening at Chanida border post. Do you have, to that effect, do you have any plan with regards to coming up with a level 1 hospital at Chanida, going by 1, the trends, and 2, we believe the population of Chanida, together with the surrounding areas, surpasses the 40,000 threshold that you just alluded to. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Health.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, once again, and thank you, Honorable Member, for your follow-up question. Madam Speaker, let me just provide a little bit more information that informs why and how a level 1 hospital can be factored in such kind of a situation. First and foremost, Madam Speaker, international best practice, WHO, and regional health bodies recommend isolation or quarantine facilities at borders rather than full hospitals. This is to strengthen epidemic preparedness. Secondly, the cost effectiveness. Hospitals require significant investment in staff, equipment, and infrastructure. An isolation center is cheaper and more aligned with the border's needs. currently. Border location and functionality, Madam Speaker. Border posts are primarily transit points, not residential hubs. The population density, as stated for Chanida border, is low, so a full hospital would just be underutilized until maybe when the population grows closer to what I said, 40,000, then we can consider in future, because the prevailing factors then would inform the Ministry of Health on how to go about that. Madam Speaker, also accessibility of referral hospitals. Nearby towns and districts already have established hospitals. A border facility would focus on stabilization and referral rather than comprehensive inpatient care. The infrastructure limitations. Border posts often lack the utilities, water, electricity, and waste management, among others. So the need to sustain a hospital at the moment is not possible. So isolation centers will require few resources to manage. The high risk of cross-border outbreaks. Madam Speaker, border posts are entry points for diseases. For example, cholera, Ebola, and COVID-19, as was the case. Rapid isolation and containment are more critical than routine hospital services. And lastly, surveillance and screening roles. Isolation centers can integrate with immigration and customs health checks, enabling immediate response to suspected cases. So for now, Madam Speaker, until such factors that are recommended for the threshold, that can be the time when we can be informed to plan indeed for a first-level hospital. Madam Speaker, you cannot go and build a hospital at a place where population is isolated, especially. That facility can be underutilized. So what you have to inform the Minister of Health will be the population and a few factors that I have outlined here. Then we are ready to go for a long-term plan to put up a level 1 hospital. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you very much. The next question, the Honorable Member for Kamfinsa. The Honorable Member for Kamfinsa is not in the House, and what I'm saying is that he's not in the House. I have not seen him this morning. So since he has not made any prior arrangements in terms of who is going to ask, the question is absence. The question lapses in accordance with Standing Order 85-1. Next question, the Honorable Member for Lufanyama.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. First of all, I would like to congratulate the new Minister of Health and the new Minister of Medium and Small Scale. Madam Speaker, I also want to congratulate the Minister of Agriculture for a bumper harvest in 2025, and which is expected in 2026. Well done, Minister. Question 275, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Agriculture.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, Honorable Sachisumo, Member of Parliament for Ufanyama, asked the government what measures the government is taking to reduce the price of fertilizer to make it affordable for farmers and also to reduce dependency on the FISIP. In B, he says, how many fertilizer manufacturing companies were opened between January 2020 and August 2025, year by year? C, how many tons of the following fertilizers were produced by the companies during the period at B? And D, whether the government gave out incentives to manufacturing companies at B in order to encourage more production. And finally, E, if the incentives were not given, why? Our response, Madam Speaker, is as follows. A,
government is taking the following measures to make fertilizers affordable for farmers and reduce dependency on the Farmer Input Support Program. 1, prioritizing electronic voucher, which is encouraging competition in the supply of fertilizers as farmers redeem or buy their inputs from the agro dealers of their choice. 2, creating a conducive environment for investment in local fertilizer production. And 3, government is not restricting importation of fertilizers to enhance supply on the local market. For B, Madam Speaker, one fertilizer manufacturing company was opened between January 2020 and August 2025, namely the United Capital Fertilizer, which opened a compound fertilizer plant in 2022 and a urea plant in 2025. For C, Madam Speaker, during the period 2020 to 2025, the following were the quantities of urea and basal dressing fertilizers produced by United Capital Fertilizer. Table A shows the quantities of basal dressing fertilizer, and it is as follows. 2021, D compound, 86,000 metric tons. 2022, D compound, 170,000 metric tons. 2023, D compound, 388,000 metric tons. 2024, D compound, 600,000 metric tons. And 2025, the forecast was for 660,000 metric tons. So with regard to urea, the newly opened plant, which is a plant for the United Capital Fertilizer, is expected to produce about 360,000 metric tons of urea fertilizer per annum, with possible expansion, Honorable Member, to 700,000 metric tons. The plant was only commissioned in October 2025. And finally, D, government gave the following incentives in line with the provisions of the Zambia Development Agency Act. 1, reduced corporate income tax. 2, import duty and VAT reliefs. And 3, investment allowance and incentives. Therefore, your question E falls off because the incentives were provided. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. Supplementary questions? The Honorable Member for Lufanyama.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, I want to thank you because there is an increment in production of fertilizer from 86 metric tons to 600 metric tons, which shows that the government is doing very well, and it puts much, interest to us farmers. I'm a farmer also, Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, I just want to find out if you have got any control on the price of the fertilizer, which is still a bit high compared to what is on the ground. Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Agriculture.
Madam Speaker, first of all, let me thank the Honorable Member for his kind words on the Ministry of Agriculture, which I did not take into account for the bumper harvest. Thank you very much, Honorable. Secondly, in terms of price control, no, the government does not, especially now that we have the e-voucher. Since we don't buy the fertilizer, we do not. However, Madam Speaker, the Honorable Member might be interested to know that government has a very small share in that company. Therefore, there could be discussions quietly, but not like price control, effective, don't sell at this price, no. What we want now is as you bring in your own fertilizer, you are free to import, let your fertilizer land at a good price. People will not buy any expensive fertilizer. They will come to you. And that is what we're encouraging. I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Katanshi.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I'm glad that the Minister was quick to inform us that indeed we do have some shareholding in United Capital. But, Madam Speaker, the incentives that were mentioned in D, surely they cannot just be for the benefit. I don't want to go into the details in terms of the amount of number of years that these benefits will be accrued. But as a ministry which is emphasizing on increasing productivity and in turn reducing the cost, especially of mealie meal, these incentives you have announced, they are quite significant. So why isn't part of that incentive being passed to us, the Zambian people, through a reduction in the cost of buying fertilizer? Especially that now the company is benefiting again through government policy by exporting fertilizer in the region. So why are we not having that benefit moving quickly so that the cost of producing maize drops, and therefore the miller will also reduce, and therefore we are all going to be happy by having a cheaper bag of mealie meal? So why are we not having that benefit being passed on to us, the customers, as well? Thanks.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Agriculture.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It is important indeed for the House to know that specific tax incentives are given, and especially the income tax, which I think has been worked on so well. And you also get, when you are importing, the standard tax will be about 30%. These are given 15%. So there are a number of taxes, indeed, that should be passed on. Madam Speaker, let the country know. A few years ago, when we took office, fertilizer, Honorable Member for Kantashi, was about 1,200 kwacha. And the fertilizer, after this company came in, reduced. You could buy the same fertilizer in certain places at 850 kwacha to 900 kwacha. So the reduction has been there, but maybe it's the quantum which we do not see so much. Then you have got these exogenous factors. Look at what is happening now. No matter how good the company might be, we would expect the price of fertilizer to remain almost the same, if not start increasing because of this war. So there are always all these issues. The exchange rate, which we found was extremely high, the exchange rate reduced, and we were expecting that this year we would sit with them. I do talk to them. In answering to Honorable Member for Rufanyama, I did say that the government has shares, and I'm happy that you recognize. We talk to them. When they say this will be our price, we call them and talk to them. I specifically speak with those people and say, look, we gave you incentives. We promoted you. We gave you contracts. We have allowed you to export. We want a benefit to be felt on the local market. So we talk to them. In fact, Madam Speaker, the next time I'm calling them, I think I'll call Honorable Member for Kantashi and Honorable Sachisumo so that the three of us can form one panel and we talk to them. Maybe there are areas which you could help with in terms of discussing with them. Because all the questions the Honorable Member asked in this House are very economic, meaning he understands the economic aspects of a lot of things. It would be good to sit with you so that we benefit as a country. So, yes, incentives are there, the price has reduced, but maybe the quantum is not appreciated. But definitely fertilizer prices went down with UCF. I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Lufonyama.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, thank you so much for for answering the question very well concerning the manufacturing and the gradient of the production of fertilizer. Copperbelt is one of the provinces which are doing very well, where maize production is doing, maybe beaten by Central and Eastern Province. We are at 500 metric tons. Honorable Minister, the price of fertilizer equates the price of maize. I remember one time I approached you concerning the price of maize. It's as a result of the good price of maize which has been implemented by the New Dawn government why we have got a bumper harvest. Why haven't you explained to the public, as you explained to me, the price of maize and the high production? Because some people say, no, fertilizer is expensive, whatever. But when you look at the production and the price of maize, as farmers, we are very, very happy. Why can't you explain, Honorable Minister? Thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Agriculture.
Thank you very much. Madam Speaker, if you hear what the Honorable Member is saying, he's actually saying he's very happy, that the country is extremely happy with the current prices of maize, because that price can absorb the current price of fertilizer. When we were coming up with that price, that is exactly what we wanted to hear. And it is because of that that the commercial farmers who were not participating in maize production have now started participating. When we took office, commercial farmers' participation was less than 5%. Now it has increased. It is above 15%. And I can assure you this year, it will definitely be higher. It will be getting to 25%. And that is what will reduce the price of mealie meal once our production continues going up. So I want to agree that maybe we have not done enough to explain to the country that the current price of maize, which is 340 kwacha per 50 kg, never done before, Madam Speaker, is such a good price. I hear you, Honorable, but may we carry this message as we break off to the constituents so that they all know that at 340, even a commercial farmer makes profit. For a small-scale farmer, the profit is pretty high. So, Honorable Kantash, grow maize. Everybody here, including Frank, it's a pity that Honorable Tayari is not here. He has a farm. Honorable there, for tourism, big farm. Honorable there, huge farm. So, in fact, mines, everybody. Madam Speaker, it's such a pleasant thing that has taken place. The revolution in the agriculture industry is phenomenal. And we are so happy, including Honorable Saki. He doesn't talk here, but he's a good farmer. Oh, let's talk about Western Province. Honorable Madam Speaker, near your farm, I've been to your farm, big farm. Everybody is cultivating. That is what Zambia needs. Go in the rural areas at the markets. See who are selling. It is now, including the one who is standing in Lunte. Good farm. So what do you want to stand and talk about? We love you, you produce. It's just that one next to you who doesn't cultivate. Huh? Binwell, cultivate. Madam Speaker, as I sit down, when you go to any market now, and I challenge you colleagues, go and look at the shops. It is agro shops that are everywhere, selling chemicals, selling fertilizers. The market is beginning to develop. Even Iran. Everybody's, you colleagues, thank you for participating in agriculture, including Mama Mazoka. She bought more equipment for her farm. Everywhere I look, this way, I see Mr. Peel. This way, I see the Deputy Speaker too.
So we can make progress. The last question will be from the Honorable Member from Bavala. I had already closed. We need to make progress.
Yeah, thank you so much, Madam Speaker. And thank you, Honorable Minister, for that very eloquent response to the people of Rufanyama and associated questions. Honorable Minister, the issue of indeed price reduction on fertilizer, seed and fertilizer is very crucial to all of us and to the people of Mbabala who also wish to see more of that, especially from the agro dealers. Is there any, in terms of risk analysis, is there any mechanism your ministry is having to ensure that in this self-sufficiency of fertilizer is not disrupted by this global war in the Middle East? So as we continue on the path of self-sufficiency for fertilizer, seed and fertilizer in Zambia, so what is the ministry doing to ensure that we do not have a disruption to our price index on fertilizers? Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Agriculture.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. A very good question, as usual, from Dr. from Mbabala. Madam Speaker, number one, may I remind the House that your country, Zambia, is the #1 seed supplier in Africa, undisputed. We use about 50 to 60,000 metric tons of seed, but we produce about 130 plus metric tons of seed, 130,000 metric tons. So the rest goes for export. And we must be happy and proud. Recently, the President was opening a plant for seed production in Kawe by Bayer, and they are going to be producing more than 50,000, in fact, more than 75,000 tons of seed, and employing a huge number of outgrowers to produce the seed. There is a lot of money in seed production. Ask the Minister of Tourism, he will tell you. Plenty of money. Now, the honorable member is asking, what is the risk position we are taking in terms of manufacturing fertilizer? I'm also very happy, Madam Speaker, to mention that United Capital Fertilizer is going to open a plant to mine phosphates in Nsinda. That they get the core, and we have plenty of it, heat it to extreme levels, break it down to its original components, and get the elements which they want. Beautiful technology brought by that company there. So as we go forward, Honorable Member from Mbabala, there will be less and less imports as ingredients in the fertilizer, and therefore we'll be able to manage our costs. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. Next question, the Honorable Member for Chilubi.
276, Madam Speaker, but may I take also the opportunity that as we talk about fertilizer.
The Honorable Member, please. The Honorable Minister of Mines and Minerals Development.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. The Honorable Member, Mr. Mlenga Fube. Wants to find out whether government has any plans to publish a mineral book following the geophysical survey that is being undertaken, and B, if so, when the book will be published, and if there are no such plans, why? Madam Speaker, government has no plans to publish a mineral book following the ongoing geophysical survey. And Madam Speaker, question B is not applicable in view of the response at A. And C, there are no plans to publish a mineral book. Instead, the focus is on digital dissemination of data and direct access through the Geological Survey Department. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. Supplementary questions, the Honorable Member for Chilubi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The question was informed, I think the Minister should know that there is that tradition from Kaunda time. The first time I read the mineral book
was the mineral book in 1987, which was brown in color. And why that book is published is to allow stakeholders in the mining sector to see how they can participate when they are applying for such and the like. And I think limiting the data that should go into a mineral book to soft data, which has limitation in terms of access, it's a misnomer. You are not a speaker, as far as I know. Yeah.
Oh, the honorable member for Chilubi, please, let's maintain some order.
Yeah, but she is not
If
ordered.
you have any
my question is
order, let me guide. If you have any concern raised from the conduct of another member, you can raise it with the presiding officer. Don't start attacking each other while you are holding the floor. May you continue.
Much appreciated, Madam Speaker. I expect to be protected. My question is...
Oh, the honorable member for Chilobi, are you imputing that I'm not protecting you? When you are guided, let's follow guidance. You may continue with your question.
My question is, as the ministry departed from the tradition of publishing information for stakeholder participation and limiting it to what I may call just, I don't know, maybe that sounded like social media platforms, as it departed from that particular tradition?
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Mines and Minerals Development.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much, and thank you, Honorable Member. Madam Speaker, I don't know of any tradition of doing whatever the Honorable Member is talking about, but when the survey is done, it will be done through the policy of the UPND government, and will release the information as and when it is available. We have a system in which we want to release that data. That is very sensitive and important data to the country. You don't just throw it all over the place. So, Madam Speaker, we will guide the nation when the mapping is done. I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Lunte.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, I thoroughly appreciate your response to the question posed to you. Honorable Minister, you have clearly indicated that your government has no intention whatsoever of producing a mineral book for the consumption of the general public. Those who are interested should go to a department in your ministry to gather the data. Madam Speaker, my question to the Honorable Minister is the work that your ministry is conducting for the people or for government? Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister of Mines and Minerals Development.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member. The last time I checked, a government is elected by the people, and we, as government, we do things on behalf of the Zambian people. And that is why, if I were to veer off, I would say, you would say that even state secrets sometimes should be released to the public because we do things on behalf of the public. So one of the things that government should do is to be responsible enough to make sure that it doesn't just release information anyhow and risk our own, people not participating properly in this thing. So whatever we do as government is on behalf of the Zambian people. So how we will release that data will be according to what we see as the interests of the Zambian people as government. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Chilubi will be the last one.
Madam Speaker, this House did budget for that survey, and the budget was public. And I think I remember the figure that was put in that survey. But later on, we were told that that money was not enough. And I think there was some invitation of another part that would contribute, which contributed to the survey
I want to find out from the minister the structure of funding the survey, apart from what we budgeted for in this house. Who else contributed to the survey and what's their interest?
Those are two questions. The Honorable Minister will answer one of those two. The Honorable Minister of Mines and Minerals Development.
Madam Speaker, I thank you so much. I don't know whether that is a follow-up question or it's a completely new question. We have made it very clear, Honorable Member, that it's the Zambian government that is funding this 100%. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. We make progress. Honorable members, before we go to the next item, I have an announcement to make. Honorable members, I wish to inform the House that lunch has been graciously provided for, courtesy of yours truly. I further wish to inform the House that lunch will be served immediately after adjournment at 13 hours. Honorable members will be served in the restaurant here at Parliament Buildings, while lunch for ministry officials and staff will be served at the motel, Members' Motel. In this regard, transport for ministry officials and staff to the Members' Motel has been provided and will be available at the entrance to the library building at 13 hours. I thank you. The clerk will now read the order of the day.
The Disaster Management Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 1 of 2026, committee stage.
The House will now resolve into committee.
The Disaster Management Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 1 of 2026. Clause 1, short title. Any debate and objection, Clause 1 is agreed to. Clause 2, amendment of Section 2. Any debate and objection, Clause 2 is agreed to. Clause 3, repeal and replacement of heading to Part 2. Any debate and objection, Clause 3 is agreed to. Clause 4, repeal and replacement of Section 4. Any debate and objection, Clause 4 is agreed to. Clause 5, repeal and replacement of Section 5. Any debate and objection, Clause 5 is agreed to. Clause 6, amendment of Section 7. Any debate and objection, Clause 6 is agreed to. Clause 7, amendment of Section 8. Any debate and objection, Clause 7 is agreed to. Clause 8, repeal and replacement of Section 9. Any debate and objection, Clause 8 is agreed to. Clause 9, amendment of Section 10. Any debate and objection, Clause 9 is agreed to. Clause 10, repeal and replacement of Section 11. Any debate and objection, Clause 10 is agreed to. Clause 11, amendment of Section 13. Any debate and objection, Clause 11 is agreed to. Clause 12, amendment of Section 14. Any debate and objection, Clause 12 is agreed to. Clause 13, repeal and replacement of heading to Part 3. Any debate and objection, Clause 13 is agreed to. Clause 14, repeal and replacement of Section 16. Any debate and objection, Clause 14 is agreed to. Clause 15, repeal and replacement of Section 19. Any debate and objection, Clause 15 is agreed to. Clause 16, repeal and replacement of heading to Part 4. Any debate and objection, Clause 16 is agreed to. Clause 17, amendment of Section 21. Any debate and objection, Clause 17 is agreed to. Clause 18, amendment of Section 24. Any debate and objection, Clause 18 is agreed to. Clause 19, amendment of Section 37. Any debate and objection, Clause 19 is agreed to. Clause 20, repeal and replacement of heading to Part 7. Any debate and objection, Clause 20 is agreed to. Clause 21, amendment of Section 38. Any debate and objection, Clause 21 is agreed to. Clause 22, amendment of Section 40. Any debate and objection, Clause 22 is agreed to. Clause 23, amendment of Section 42. Any debate and objection, Clause 23 is agreed to. Clause 24, general amendment. Any debate and objection, Clause 24 is agreed to. Long title. Any debate and objection, long title is agreed to. The bill will be reported to the House as having passed through the committee without amendment. Madam Speaker, I have to report to the House that the Committee of the Whole House has gone through the Disaster Management Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 1 of 2026, without amendment.
Thank you. Day for third reading.
Now, Madam Speaker.
Third reading of the bill to be taken now. The acting leader of government business.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the bill be now read a third time.
Thank you. The question is that the bill be now read the third time. Any debate? Any objection? The question is agreed to. Let the bill be read the third time.
The Disaster Management Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 1 of 2026.
The acting leader of government business, adjournment.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the House do now adjourn.
The question is that the House now adjourns. Any debate? Any objection? The question is agreed to. The House is now adjourned. Cindy. Those who want to object can remain alone.
Good afternoon, and thank you very much for still staying with us on Parliament Television. Business of the day has been concluded, and the House has since adjourned sine die. We have a quick look at what was transacted in the meeting, which started on 3rd February and has been concluded today.
And yesterday, the acting leader of government business in the House, Honorable Ambrose Lufuma MP, did move a motion that Standing Orders 27.2 and 123 of the National Assembly of Zambia Standing Orders 2024 be suspended to enable the House to complete all business on the order paper and all matters arising therefrom, and also to consider more than one stage of a bill today, Friday, 20 March 2026, and on such completion, the House adjourns sine die.
And Matimba, just to mention that Standing Orders 27.2 of the National Assembly of Zambia, Standing Orders 2024, provides for the automatic adjournment at 13 hours on Friday, while Standing Orders 123 prohibits the consideration of more than one stage of a bill at the same sitting. However, the House still had a lot of business and under consideration, including bills which were at different stages, and it was therefore necessary that the business be concluded today, and the acting leader of government business therefore moved a motion to enable the House to complete all the business that was on the order paper today, and the House has since adjourned sine die.
And highlights of business of the legislative meeting. The legislative meeting, which commenced a sitting on Tuesday, 3rd February 2026, has sat for a total of 24 days, and the meeting has considered 5 private members' motions and about 120 questions for oral answer and written answer.
And the meeting also considered 5 private members' motion and 120 questions for oral and written answer. And the House also considered 10 bills and 5 annual reports from government and quasi-government institutions. There were 12 ministerial statements that were issued in which government did explain policies on various issues and also made clarifications on a lot of matters that were in the ministerial statements. And some of the highlights of the meeting also included a special address by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, Mr. John Dramani Hamani, who delivered a speech to the House on February 5th, 2026. And subsequently, the House placed on record the thanks of the Assembly on the special address by the President of Ghana. And the President of the Republic of Zambia also, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, on Friday, 20th February 2026, also addressed the House on the application of national values and the principles, and the House equally did place on record the thanks of the Assembly through the motion of thanks, which was concluded on Wednesday.
And the House has today considered 3 questions for oral answer under Standing Order 82 and 4 questions for oral answer under Standing Order 80. The House has also considered the Disaster Management Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 1 of 2026, which came at committee stage. It has passed through a committee with amendments. It has been read the 3rd time and it has passed.
Yes, so basically that has been business of the House today, and this sitting of the House, this meeting of the House, which has concluded today, and the House has since adjourned sine die, and the next date of the meeting will be announced in due course. So from all of us here at Parliament Studios, we wish to thank you so much for the viewership. And just now we take you back to the committee meetings, which continue sitting, and we take you to the Committee on Local Government Accounts as they continue considering accounts of various councils on the application of CDF, that is the Constituency Development Fund. So for now, it's good afternoon.
He's saying no.
So we wrote to the ministry, and the response from